God damn it. I did it again. I am so sorry. Hi. Now I think it works. I think everything works. Yay. Hooray. So I am going to actually hold on. I don't have the header there, do I? I am working with some issues here that fuck it. Okay. Yeah, I went to vote. Germany, we are voting today. We are voting on our government, and it's like choosing between pest and cholera. And I chose neither, but I'm not giving away my vote. Other thing is, then I went. I wanted to go and, quite to the contrary of what I usually eat, I went to go and get a pair of bratwurst, which then I asked for a non-alcoholic beverage, and they didn't have any anymore. So I went for an alcoholic beverage, which I usually don't drink or don't drink often anymore. Lately, I've been reverting a little bit to that because I've been falling into a hole, hence all this shit I'm doing right now. So, yeah. So I'm not completely sober anymore right now, and you're gonna have to bear with me, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. So, I said so, I think 4 times in a row now. That's wonderful. And I changed my Ancestry streaming time to Sunday because on Saturday, usually that's the time where I'd rewatch the European premiere of Vampire the Masquerade, which kind of like conflicts with what I'm doing. And originally I did it just to calm myself afterwards, but then it would have to be later, and it's all complicated. And Saturday is the day that I might feel like actually going out and go shopping because I don't want to starve completely. And my cats get hungry, so there's a couple things that just need to happen. So much for that. Anywho, I just got back from voting, walking through downtown with all these people everywhere, and I need to kind of like just shit all that right now. And doesn't always go quite well with my agoraphobia, which has been not that bad, but now starting to flare up again, as everything else does. I might get into that at another day, but right now I just want to continue with my ancestry digging. And what I did was, actually there was a chance for, on Genome Link, to update some of the DNA readings. So I did my DNA with Ancestry DNA, and it was a general DNA. It wasn't Y or X chromosomes, nothing like that. So it just gives you like a general thing, but they can still read a lot out of it. And I actually updated my global ancestry report there. So that's this thing here. I'm not showing you right now. Hold on. Let me fix that. In a heartbeat. There we go. So, okay. So, oh my god. And I did something else. Crappy. Why is this not where oh my god. Why are you... I need to get the webcam frame down. Thank you. Oh god, Jesus. I need to fix something real quick. I am so sorry. Let's see if this is better. There we go. Okay, now you see what I mean. Up here. This one. It's not showing. Why am I not showing my Jesus? Where's my... this is not working today at all. It's not showing my mouse. Hold on, let me fix that. Sources, sweetheart. Where is my mouse? Nope. Where do I find that? Where do I pick that? What am I doing? Hold on. Is that in my... Capture cursor. I'm telling you to capture my motherfucking cursor. It's not capturing my cursor. I don't know. That sucks. You see what I'm hovering above though? It's just happening here right now. So I'm gonna click on that. So, yeah. apparently it's telling me that my DNA has never been analyzed this deep before. And if you watched my last one, I gave you an overview over how far or how deep I am right now in my actual ancestry tree in or on the Ancestry website. What are you guys doing? Blue, Ezio. If I'm coming off a little bit off-putting, I apologize. Yeah. So let's go. Okay, deep chromosome ancestry. DNA has never been analyzed this deep before. Well, let's check. Oh, this is pretty. Now look at that. Can I get that into? Oh no, I can't. Oops. There we go. Oh, now you can see my cursor. Wonderful. Okay, so it's literally. Oh my God, really? This is interesting because it literally has never. What the hell is a Dravidian? We're gonna find out. So, I mean, obviously, I'm of European descent mostly. That's kind of obvious, and I get that. So we have Northwestern Europe is 31%, and I also know that there's a lot of Eastern Europe in there because, as I said last time, from my grandfather on my mom's side is a lot of Polish and going in that direction, and from my grandmother's side on my mom's side, we're going into the Czech area and into that, and I know that from my dad's side there's some Mongolian Hun thing going on. So we're going over here, as you can see, like to Eastern Europe, West Asia. So, but okay, so Northwestern Europe, 31%, which is we're here. Can I click on that? What's happening? Zoom in, out, spin the planet to check all ethnicities. Okay, so obviously Northwestern Europe, which is, stop hopping around. It's moving. I don't want it to move. So that's mainly, it's showing me Great Britain as well, and that's just wonderful. How close can we get on this? This is weird. But also, why is it not giving me German at all? This is really weird. Okay, well, we'll figure that out. So Northwestern Europe. Then we have the Eastern Europeans. That's where, you know, all the Czech and Polish crap comes from. The other stuff is mainly Britain, Belgium, Netherlands, and that kind of stuff. Then we have Iberian, which is something, you know, like the... no, where is fucking Iberian? I'm here. What am I doing? Which I find interesting because I don't know where the hell that came from. We have Italian, which, I mean, I know my dad delivered pizza at some point, but I don't think that's what they mean. What is a Near East? Ah, okay, we're down here, and obviously, like, I am Caucasian, so that's where that's happening. Depending on how far back we are going in Ancestry, obviously, at some point, you're going to hit some African countries. So, what am I doing with all this? Where do I go with this? Oh shit. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. The Andes. Where are they coming in? Oh, that's fine. Okay. So they're actually, what they're doing is they're actually literally ripping apart every single chromosome. What the hell does that? So each chromosome. Oh God, I'm not sober enough to grasp it. Okay, first of all, I guess we have to learn about chromosomes, right? So chromosomes are like the parts in your DNA that make up a lot of shit. And as far as I remember, we have like 7,000, something. So chromosome 1 apparently is the single largest chromosome in your entire genome. Geez, it carries thousands of genes spread across millions of base pairs. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of shit in there already. So, each chromosome. Oh my God. Oh, wow. I don't even know where to I think this is a good start, chromosome ethnicities, because if you're going like for all the different chromosomes, we're not going through all my chromosomes right now. But what the hell? I just gave him treats. They have water, they have food, they had treats. The cat toilet is clean. They had cuddles, they were outside, they have everything they need. I don't know what the hell the issue is. So, what does that even mean? Okay, so this chromosome alone has all these ethnicities, and obviously Northwestern Europe is like the biggest part. And then there is a lot of information on this. So British, German, French. Okay, here we go. So I'm assuming that mainly that's the German part. And we're finding out about like the connection for 4,500 years ago. And I can actually where did I have that? I have to look at the other link. Let's just stay with this here because this is getting confusing. So, most of my 22 chromosomes share everything with the European descent, which makes me about as white as you can get. As you can see, my apologies. There is some other information here for each single motherfucking chromosome. Okay, so it's giving me all the different chromosomes, and if you didn't know, you have 22 unless you have some certain conditions where you have more than 22. So we're finding out about all the ethnicities now. I'm going to the ethnicities page. Okay, so this gives me a total overall. So, okay, so yeah, so Northwestern Europe, duh. Which makes sense. This is kind of... Then we have Eastern Europe, which is pretty much the other part. I think it's funny how it just kind of like dimples around Germany. Where am I looking at? I'm sorry. So here we're about the area of 4,500 years ago, North European plain, and then when you go into Eastern European, you actually go further back. But we're still, yeah, the Czechs and the Serbians, and I know that I have to go and find the other side there. Where is that other? Oh my god, my brain is not working right now. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now. So I know all this. I know it's all the thing about the Slavic tribes, like when they were moving in and taking over Europe and mingling with the Germanic and the Teutonic tribes. And I know that a lot of Germans that have ethnicities in, or like backgrounds in Czech and Poland, have the Slavic input in there. And I mean, it's talking about already the 16th century, and I can actually go back to the 16th century in my ancestry tree. So those two make sense, and obviously, duh. Then we got the Iberian, and I'm a little bit confused about that one, because I don't know how the hell I ended up with chromosomes from the Iberian Peninsula. But we're going to hunter-gatherers about 8,000 years ago, which would make sense because that's like 4,000 years before the other thing. Excuse me, I sort of got this beer. So it makes sense that there's like stuff going on there before that. And there's like, I guess the Celts. Well, that would make the Phoenicians in the south and the Celts in the interior. Okay. And then we have the Italians. And no, I'm not related to Etsy. We found that out last time in the other thing. So how do the Italians come in there? 2,000 years ago, an influx of Greeks, Syrians, and other groups of people arrived in the Italian peninsula. Their influence has been most marked in the south, such as Sicily, where superiors of Moorish rule left North African ancestry visible on the faces of people. Yeah, well, but how do I don't know how I ended up in there. Well, with the Roman things, and I know I have ancestry with some gladiators that were fighting in Roman amphitheaters. And I mean, you're just human beings. Shit happens. Women get pregnant, that kind of thing. So I guess. Okay, then we have Near East. I mean, just the wording. Near East. What does that mean? The first people to settle down and raise crops lived in the Near East at the end of the last ice age. Oh, we're 11,000. What? Now, either somebody put a zero in there too much, or it's 117,000 years ago. What do you think? Do you think? I don't know. Why? For tens of thousands of years, called the Natufians, these earliest farmers eventually pioneered another aspect of human life in the 11,000 years ago. I thought so. There's like a zero too much. In the Holocene, they built the first city, Jericho. Oh. Famous as a city reference in the Bible, Jericho was occupied as a permanent settlement 11,000 years ago. It was the model upon which other cities in the regions were built, and it pioneered features we recognize from cities all around the world. These were truly the first sons of Cain. Now, I find that interesting that I'm reading about this right now after watching the last episode of Vampire the Masquerade LA by Night. But fine. So what? I'm a daughter of Cain. Aren't we all though? Well, obviously not. And as this mentions, the human existence is not static, and 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, the descendants of the Natufians in the ancient Levant were joined by other members of the great farming diasporas from the Sagras in western Iran. Out of this synthesis of the earliest western farmers and their eastern neighbors emerged the genetic and cultural profile of the people who came to occupy Egypt and Samaria. People of the Levant had another trick up their sleeve after inventing farming in cities. The alphabetic script emerged in ancient Syria. Though adopted from Egyptians, the modern alphabet all arrived from a common ancestor in the ancient Levant, whether Greek, Roman, or Indian. And I know that for a fact. So this makes sense as well, being back in the Caucasian thing. Because Caucasians come from the Caucasus, which is in the Middle East. And believe it or not, this whole weird idea of, I don't know what some white people think, and it's just the saddest thing in the world. And if they would just, those whatever they think is better about them, they need to actually read into the history and where that all came from, and then just shut the fuck up. So we're coming down to, and that is something that, I'm kind of interested in. What the hell is a Dravidian? And it looks like there's some Indian heritage in there. Yeah, well, that would be India. Okay, let's read about that, because the European crap. Stop eating out of my bowl. Oh my god, this cat is just okay. Well, whatever. Okay, so 4,200 years ago, there was a massive climatic shock across Eurasia. Was that another what? Okay. Drought spread across the land. The events resulted in the fall of the Old Kingdom of Egypt, the overthrow of the Mesopotamia dynasty of Sargon of Akkad, and perhaps the first step in the collapse of the cities of the Indus Valley civilization. So we're talking India here now, okay. For the two former civilizations, we have actual text and historical documents. Obviously, they were way ahead of us, and they wrote everything down and did a lot of stuff. For the third, we have archaeology. We do not know what they call themselves, though the Mesopotamians seem to have called from them the Meluhans. Their civilization included most of the modern Pakistan and parts of the northwest India. This civilization was anchored by two great cities, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Never heard of any of them. After 2000 BC, the civilization went into decline, the cities disappeared. Human society in these regions evolved to small-scale villages. I'm surprised how that happens, and I'm kind of like also. I find that interesting. After the Romans went to England, and actually the Dark Ages happened after the Romans were there, and the Dark Ages aren't called Dark Ages because the sun didn't shine, but because we have barely any knowledge about what happened, because all that culture that the Romans brought in kind of like just fell apart and disappeared. And the only things that people have from the Dark Ages when they go into archaeology and stuff like that is literally dark spots in the ground where tree stumps used to be used for housing, for example, or fire pits or something like that. So I don't know. It's I find it amazing how we as a species always think we're so great and we're like at the top of evolution, and actually we're like a really sad example for that, because instead of continuously evolving, we just go like just go back, and our civilizations keep going into decline because we fuck ourselves over and over and over again, and yet here we are doing it again on a literal global scale, and I don't know if I should be terrified or impressed or both. Okay, let's see. We do not know what language the Meluhans spoke, but we do know a little bit about their genes. Their ancestors had occupied the eastern edge of the Iranian plateau. They may have developed farming independently. Yeah, there's like some co-evolution going on in every species where things just like whenever there's like evolutionary pressure and they just get to a point. With some inspiration from their cousins to the west, they expanded eastward into the Indus River basin. Over 5,000 years ago, the Meluhans mixed with the hunter-gatherers moving north and west, people distantly related to the indigenous people of Southeast Asia. The resulting population was a synthesis of I should do this sober, was a synthesis of West and East, though perhaps was with slightly more Western heritage. Today, this ancestral component is the largest fraction in India. It is most prominent in Dravidian-speaking groups of the South. Oh, they spell... What? This is a language that still exists? Who seem to have arisen through the mixture of people who migrated from the society and indigenous hunter-gatherer groups. While the north of the subcontinent has been washed over by outsiders, Aryans, Huns, and Turks, the south has been insulated from war and exposed to trade. Roman colonies and Roman coins were numerous along the southern coast. This may have shielded this region from the shock of Islamic invasions and allowed great temples to be built around the southern tip of the subcontinent. Yeah, about that, I am right now. I'm part of. I don't know if you want to call it. I'm part of an ashram. It's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, well, it is an ashram, but it's more like a global ashram, and the teachings happen online right now. And the guru that teaches there, he is obviously Indian, and he has a lot of experience, and he learned under a lot of teachers like Iyengar, Patabi Choi, and others, and Krishnamacharya, and for a Westerners, for me as a Western student, it's hard to grasp this rich cultural background that is happening at the same time, where there is like science going on as well, and there's obviously a shift or like a split between the southern way of doing things and the northern way of doing things. And I think what reading about this right now kind of like explains the historical background about how that happened. So that's interesting. So that's like my 3% Dravidian. Hello. Yes. And there are some chromosomes that are stronger. And now I find that interesting because there's like this other website where you can go in and, or is that even this website? I'm not sure. I should check. Where it gives you the whole thing about which chromosome does what. And how. Who's complaining and why? And how. Like what kind of thing is being expressed, like blue eyes, blonde hair, risk of heart attack, blah blah blah, the whole thing, you know. So then I find it interesting to see and compare that, like where that comes from, because now I have the number of the chromosome and the thing that relates to it. So that's kind of interesting to go into it. I mean, I'm just hopping over it, and I haven't looked at this before I did the stream because I wanted to kind of like hold on to it for you guys. Okay, so West African. We're sharing this with 4 chromosomes. That's wonderful. In the ancient world, West Africa was mysterious. To most of the world, it's simply the sources of gold and slave, unfortunately. And in European old books and tapestries and stuff, there was a lot of like books about monsters in the world, and they located them all in the African continent. To most of the world, yeah. The Phoenicians, and I actually know I am related to them, so here we go again. You know, people have sex, that's what happens. Likely traded as far as Senegal, but it was the Portuguese who pushed fully down the coast. And yet, West Africa had a history long before this. Obviously! Whatever. Unlike Eurasia, it was not subject to population crash during the Ice Age. While the world outside of Africa was populated by a single group 50,000 years ago, Africa had multiple human populations with roots reaching back beyond 200,000 years ago. Yes, and we know that. And they did not... Sheesh! What are they called? It's just ridiculous. What are they called? Fuck. I don't remember. I'll get back to that. It might even say that somewhere here. We know that the ancestors of West Africans were very diverse. Low levels of Neanderthal admixture and the Yoruba indicate that there is Eurasian ancestry in these people. Yeah. Why are you complaining? Sorry, can you see that? I don't know if you can see her in the back. She's just annoying as crap right now. Okay, so there's also deep affinities to the people of West Africa. Stop fucking complaining. Have a seat. But West Africans also have ancestry that is likely native to the region and very different from all other humans. That's interesting. West Africans represent perhaps the first lineage to become distinguished in the modern human family tree. This may explain the Ivo Alero skull, part of the remains of a distinctive-looking individual who lived 10,000 years ago. As in many places, everything was transformed by agriculture. By 4,000 years ago, West Africa was populated with villages, and its eastern edge was the source of the Bantu. Isn't that an animal in Star Wars? Expansion was spread over the east and south of the continent before West Africa became a source of slave for the New World. And it's just, oh my god. Plundered for its human capital, and it was home to vast empires such as the Mali and the Songhai. Okay. I mean, obviously, I think everybody of us has some African descent in there because that's pretty much where a lot of it started, so... Okay, now we're going, and I guess that's where we go back to the African hunter-gatherer at the end. And then we have the West Asian. 11,700 years ago, farming began. In the Levant, we already have that. So they were cultivating crops, raising animals, and so on. In the uplands of Anatolia and the mountains of the Sagras, the lifestyle that was invented far to the south and west in the hills of Syria took root and became part of the culture of local people. Yeah, that's like, we're talking Caucasus again, you know? While the rapidity of their spread may suggest the movement of people, well, yeah. The genetic work indicates that the people of the West Asian uplands were very different from the Natufans in the southwest. According to the genetic profile of these groups, agriculture seemed to have spread via trade and information between these groups of people. I mean, if you spread genetic material, you're not doing agriculture or information. You're doing something else. I'm just saying. The ecology of West Asia was similar enough to the Levant that the cultural package of wheat, barley, and lentils was easy to transfer. But in the mountainous Sagras region, the local people began to herd goats and spread the pastoralist lifestyle to the east. The rise of settled life across the region was influenced by the stimulus from the earliest farmers, but it took on local coloring. Well, obviously, just you have to adapt to what's in your immediate surroundings, so that makes sense. And while Jericho in Israel was the first of the human cities, I don't know how to freaking pronounce that, and I'm going to do it wrong if I do, so I'm just going to leave it at that. In southern Turkey, was likely the largest city between 7,000 and 9,000 years ago. If you know how to pronounce this word, feel free to do so and help me out. Okay, the people of the West Asian uplands were a bit late to the agricultural life in comparison to those of the Levant, but these people took the settled life easily and perfected many elements of civilization first developed in Syria. So it sounds like all those little its and bits on the bottom just kind of like mingled and happened at the same time. And if you think about how your ancestry tree just kind of like explodes, it makes sense. And it explodes in both directions. It explodes backwards, like when you have yourself in the middle and you go up, or you're taking your original, one of the original ancestors, and go out. And that turns into this gigantic spider web of people just fucking and making babies, basically. Well, we have mainland East Asia. Okay, there. Actually shared with 14 chromosomes, but still only a 1% total. And then that would be like, I would expect that to be like, oh, no. Okay, I'm taking it back. I thought we were going with the Huns. I'll show some pictures eventually. Maybe not today because I'm gonna have to probably dig them out beforehand. Well, 4,000 years ago, also 4,000 years ago. So we have like the areas of 4,000 years ago and then about 11,000, 12,000 years ago in that region. In the north central China region, a group of agriculturalists cultivating millet occupied the central reaches of the Yellow River. These people were the Ariltu culture, and they descended in direct sequence from various hunter-gatherers who had settled down in the Yellow River basin. Okay, I don't know where the Yellow River is. I'm gonna have to go and check that. The origins were a synthesis of northern and southern tribes that had occupied the eastern edge of Eurasia during the late Pleistocene, with the northern people having more affinity to Siberians and the southern group being ancestral to modern Austronesians. Australians? I don't know where we're going to. Okay, out of the fusion of these original cultures arose a set of agriculture diasporas that expanded across the interior and coastal regions of East Asia, from Japan to Tibet, and deep in the Southeast Asia. 4,000 years ago, one of the core zone societies began to transition to a level of complexity and maturity that would give rise to the early Chinese civilization. And through the narrative history of the Ariltu culture is mute because it lacked writing, which I find interesting because wasn't that like one of the earliest civilizations that actually did the writing thing? It left archaeological remains which show that it was the direct ancestor of the first historical dynasty, the Shang. Under the Shang, Chinese occupation expanded to the Yellow Sea coast and far to the west along the edge of the Gobi Desert. Gee, okay. Like, that would be over here, right? With the rise of China as an imperial state, the ancestry of the Uraltu people pushed south beyond the Yangtze and into the fertile rice lands of the south. Here they fused with varied people and created a synthetic culture that became the opposite half of Sinitic civilization. Now, if I would know what the Sinitic civilization were, I could tell you something about it, but I don't. Which we can find out. While the south relied on rice, the northern villages dined on noodles. Oh, so, okay, that's kind of interesting because I do... Yeah, I find that kind of interesting. Unlike Greece and Rome, Chinese civilizations rested on the shoulders of the peasants, who were given more notional status than merchants or soldiers. So, yeah, well, Greece and Rome, they were mainly about spreading their influence via military means, while the Chinese basically kind of like just cultivated everything around it. I mean, not that they, please help me out if you know more about this, because I don't. I do not claim to know anything about this, and good Lord, I don't want to, offend anybody here. It all began 4,000 years ago with farmers in Henan and expanded outward until the purview of Chinese culture occupied much of East Asia. Yeah, it's like they were more spreading the culture through farming and fucking instead of fighting and fucking, because, I mean, Okay, the African hunter-gatherer, obviously, and now we're way back, and we have that somewhere. We're talking about 200,000 years ago, and what is it telling us about that? That the ancestors of San Bushmen began to go their own way from other humans. The San, along with the Hacha and the Pygmies of the Congo, remained witness to the ancient hunter-gatherer traditions of humanity. As the continent was overwhelmed by farmers and pastoralists, these ancient hunters abided, moving to less hospitable territory and achieving some of symbiosis with the outsiders. So there was already a parallel thing going on between the people that settled and started growing crops and the ones that were still going for the hunter-gatherer thing. The divisions within African hunter-gatherers are judged on a scale of tens of thousands of years rather than thousands. This reflects the peculiar role of Africa in human evolutionary history, as African history is far longer than in other regions. And there we go, is what I meant earlier, getting to the point where the further you go back, you're going to like the cradle of humanity itself, which is Africa. For most people, there's people that don't support the out of Africa theory, and there's people that do, and every time when they dig out something, things shift a little bit, and I don't think we'll ever know the real total information of that. Then we have North African, with pretty much the same thing, but I guess the further up you go again from the south, the further forward you go in time. So, the northern edge of the African continent is unique, positioned between the European continent but separated from the rest of Africa by the Sahara Desert. Yeah. But, and then again, the Sahara Desert wasn't always a desert. But I guess we're talking further down the road, time-wise. Though geographically within Africa, North Africa is culturally and genetically an extension of West Asia. This area here. The roots of humanity in the region are deep, going back hundreds of thousands of years. As the most ancient fossil exhibiting modern human features can be found in Morocco at Jebel Irhoud. I don't know how to pronounce it. Again, help me out with this one. But the modern people of the region, mostly descendant from ancient Berber tribes and indigenous to the region despite the rise and fall of Carthage and Rome, are a fusion of pastoralists who expanded west out of the Middle East with the rise of farming and indigenous hunter-gatherers. In this way, the Berbers are connected to the great agricultural diasporas of the Middle East, which began washing over the world around 12,000 years ago, and the deep human occupation of the Maghreb. Ignore my cat in the back because she thinks she didn't get what she needed today. The Berbers were some of the first people to explore the deep Sahara using the domesticated camel and crisscrossed the desert to connect the northern and southern edges through trade and conquest. The great Berber empires of the medieval period pushed north into Spain. There we get the Iberian Peninsula connection again. And south as far as Mali. This combined sub-Saharan Africa, the Maghreb, and Iberia into one political unit, though situated on the edge of the world island of Afro-Eurasia. North Africa has never been isolated. Okay. My dear, my beloved, will you stop? Will you calm your tits? Can you calm your tits? You good? She lost her third collar in 1.5 weeks. I'm not buying her a new one. Excuse me. Okay. So, we're doing the last two. Maritime East Asia. 2,500 years ago, a group of rice farmers, the Yaoi, again, pronunciation, kill me, crossed the water between Korea and Japan and landed on the western tip of Honshu. Over the next 1,000 years, they would spread south to the Ryukyu Island and north towards the northern tip of Honshu. And I don't remember anymore which island was which, even though we learned it in school. My apologies again, but help me out if you know anything. Just leaving me stranded here, people. Meanwhile, the Korean peninsula from which they came would be subject to a series of political and cultural convulsions, transforming it into a homogeneous nation-state. Today, the nations of Japan and Korea have a clear identity around particular ethnic groups, the Japanese and the Koreans. But 3,000 years ago, the landscape was very different. Japan was dominated by a group of hunter-gatherers and fishing tribes called Jomon. Related to the Emishi of medieval Tohoku and the modern Ainu, the Jomon reflect a deep East Asian lineage that dates back to the settlement of the Pacific coast by modern humans. The Y chromosomal lineage of the Jomon, which is still found in modern Japanese, is most closely related to the people of Tibet and the Andaman Islands. This illustrates the reality that Jomon not only descend from a group long separated from mainland Northeast Asians, but it also illustrates that they are a part of broader diaspora of East Asian populations which have become isolated by the expansion of newcomers. Yeah, islands and shit like that tend to have that happen. I mean, yeah. These newcomers were the great agricultural diasporas of China, Southeast Asia, and Korea, and the peoples of Korea seem to be descended from farmers and agropastoralists who filtered in from Northeast Asia. Okay. Sometimes between 3000 and 1500 BC, Korea became dominated by agriculturalists with ancient connections to the people of Manchuria and northern India. Despite political integration to the Han Dynasty of China around 2,000 years ago, the Koreans kept their separate identity. Will you stop? The development of the Koreans as a nation occurred through a shift southward in the peninsula and the retreat from Manchuria. In the process, they absorbed some non-Korean peoples, including the ancient mainland relatives of the Yaoi, Japanese. Through modern Japanese descent, mostly from Yaoi rice farmers, about 10 to 20% of their ancestry descends from the Jomon. The fusion of the two cultures produced a new synthetic culture. Why are they calling it synthetic? Because, I mean, it was still like an organically thing that happened, right? This culture was evident by 500 AD and marks the beginning of the historical period. This makes the Japanese distinctive from Koreans and other Northeast Asians, and it connects them to a unique culture of hunter-gatherers who made their own pottery. Huh. That's kind of cool. And I don't know how that ends up in there. I'm a little bit confused about that one because all the other ones make sense because there is some way of connecting lands and some way of, it's like, what were they doing back then, But the Andes, I'm a little bit confused about. Not that I don't love the Andes, and I love their music, and there's so much stuff. Who knows? But, sheesh, I mean, how does that happen? I mean, I get there. I'm not. How? Maybe I should read this. Okay, let's read this and find out how on earth you could possibly haven't been, all these European descendancies. And then how do the people from the Andes play in there? Apparently, about 15,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers occupied the site of Mount Verde in southern Chile, which is great. They can do that. Though long disputed, archaeologists now agree that the dates of human occupation at the sites are valid. They confirm that the spread of hunter-gatherers from the north and ultimately back to Siberia. Right, the land bridge. Back then there was a land bridge. Was a very rapid after the movement south became possible. The fact that southern Chile was occupied by humans so early means that the ancestors of many modern native South Americans were already present there long ago. These were the people of the Andes highlands. The modern people who occupy these regions are agriculturalists who cultivate steep mountains, but their ancestors were Siberian mammoth hunters. All right, that sounds badass. These people were a fusion of two groups. One with the roots far to the west, the Paleo-Siberians, related to the Ice Age natives of the heart of Eurasia, and groups that had percolated northward from the coastal zones of East Asia. In this... What the fuck is she? I swear to God, she's driving me insane. She's literally driving me insane. That's fine. Where am I? In this way, the native peoples of the New World reflect a synthesis with the Eurasian West and East, establishing demographic patterns that were in place by the arrival of Europeans. Yeah, so it's kind of like a loop-de-loop thing that's happening there. Another similarity between the people of the Andes and Eurasia is the cultivation of crops beginning 10,000 years ago after the end of the last ice age. And then again, there's like, it could be a thing of two things. Simultaneous evolution of the same trait, separate from like not being connected somehow on a geographical scale, but out of the need and necessity. In this case, the utilization of the potato allowed for the occupation of vast areas of the highlands at high densities. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so they had the potato, we didn't. And actually, when the potato came to Europe, people were stupid and they ate the leaves. Took them a while to figure out that that's not the part of the potato you're supposed to eat. There were some sacrifices to be made. the civilizations of the regions if this region of the world, some of the largest and most complex when Europeans arrived 500 years ago, were only possible with the potato. I find that so interesting that one little thing changes a whole culture. And you see that a lot in all the different areas of the world. In the development, you have the rice there, and then you have the potato there, and how cultures develop around one food item, one stock food item that gives you carbs. I mean, being carbon-based life forms, one might think that would be okay. Got it. The civilized. No, hold on. Where were we at? The potato. These dense, complex societies also domesticated American camelids, in particular the llama. Of course. Don't piss off a llama. Though originally descended from Siberian hunter-gatherers, and here we go again, who traversed the entire range of latitudes from the Arctic Circle to the equator. They were some badass people too, weren't they? Today, people of the Andes occupy a unique bioregion of higher latitudes and wide daily temperature ranges. Like other high-altitude peoples, they have also developed biological adaptations to the regions they live in. Obviously. This one likely reason that they have been able to resist the expansion of European settlements into their homelands. The rapid expansion of communities from the Andes has an additional twist. Recent genetic evidence suggests that the Zenu, an indigenous community related to the Andes inhabitants of present-day Colombia, embarked on a trans-Pacific voyage admixing with Austronesians in northern islands of the Pacific. Yeah. Well, that is quite interesting, and it covers or makes sense what I see on other websites. So with that backing, or with that fact, I kind of want to go back and go back into the Ancestry page. And for the second half, just go and look at no, actually, give me my. Why is it back in German? I don't think I can. I don't think I can change it into English. Extras. Help. Site settings. Can I change that? Website Einstellungen 9. My account. My profile. Yeah, I can't change that. I don't think I can change that. I don't think I can change that. Me. Okay, well, we're gonna have to keep it at that, and it's just gonna be the way it is. So, before I take you back, what is happening with... I don't have that there, do I? let's go back and Jesus Christ. Hey, oh no, I need to go to the middle. And then we go here. Nope. 2 seconds, I gotta find myself. Oh no, don't. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So, we are back in here, and today I'm gonna go, this is my dad's side here, and I kind of want to go backwards at some point. So what I usually do is, like, when I have a lot of those little leafy things that tell me that there's new information, I kind of like just sometimes I go from back and sometimes I go from the front, and don't get that wrong. You can think about whatever the hell you want about this right now. So what I want to do right now is, because I find this interesting, because there's obviously some link or some information, because I don't have any parents here. So I'm just going to go backwards this time. So I'm going to start in this area here and work my way towards the front, like towards this time frame. So I'm looking at this guy here, Kurt. Kurt Jung is born in 1607, died in 1681, which this is, by the way, something really interesting that people always get wrong, I think, when they're saying, it's like, oh, the further you go back, the people didn't get that old, because, you know, average life expectancy was 40. You forget something. The average life expectancy is a statistical number, meaning that it takes all the deaths and all the ages at the deaths, puts it together, and divides it by the amount of people that died. That gives you an average age. But what happened back then, and we're gonna actually discover that as we go here, is that people lost a lot of their kids. So a lot of people died before they turned 10. So the average life expectancy averaged itself out somewhere between the 40s or 50s, but that doesn't mean that the old people were 50. The old people were still old. As you can see, it just statistically, the average life expectancy was lower because so many children died. There, you have it. So let's go to Kurt. Kurt was born in Wahlen in Hesse and died in Wahlen. Poor dude. Never seen anything else. And it seems like there's other people that have him in their ancestry tree. So let's just check that real quick. He's my 8 times great-grandfather. So, what are we getting here? Anything new? Nope. Nope. Something interesting is happening here. If you see, it's like here the daughter is called Anna Martha, and here the daughter is called Anna Margrethe, and obviously or possibly her name was Anna Martha Margrethe or Anna Margrethe Martha. It doesn't make a difference, though. There's really nothing new that I can find here, so we're just gonna skip it and we're gonna tell them, nah, thanks, I got this. So in that, we're going back. So let's see what Anna Margrethe Martha has to say, and I think we're probably in the same thingy. Oh no, we have other stuff. Wonderful. Because the ancestry trees, like I said before, sometimes it's just people just click willy-nilly and just go, oh, I found somebody, and then it kind of fucks up your tree if you realize that something went wrong. So I always like to make sure that, god damn it, why do I always do that? That things are right. So I'm ignoring this right now. I'm just gonna go down to the wonderful things here and First, we're gonna look at Anna Margrethe probably having given birth to Maria Katharina. There's no picture, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Maria Katharina. Maria. Oh, that's another kid. Yeah, that's what I'm. No. Oh, so because. Hold on, let me go back because that's not. Yes. I can't. Ah. No. No. Okay. There we go. It's not a new person. Maria Katharina, that's you. There we go. So now I pushed over where she was baptized. Sometimes you gotta watch out what you're doing because otherwise you end up creating several people at the same time and they're all the same. But you can later on fix that. And we'll probably come across it at some point and I'll show you what I have to do. So these are my favorite ones. My favorite ones are the ones where we can go in and there's actually paper. Because now we can go into, what's going on. So this one says Anna Marta. And her husband is Johannes. And I'm already skeptical, but it could still be true. But Justus is not showing up. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to keep in mind that their children are born between 1671 and 1689. And we're going to look at that. Let's compare. And this is where we have the problem, that issue with Anna Marta and Anna Margrethe, and also the different spelling of the last names all the time, which make it complicated. So I'm going possibly. And I want to actually go and look at that, because that would help. Yeah, I would like to try to... Excuse me! Okay. Anna Margrethe, but she was there under Anna Marta. Where are you at, girl? Johannes? Okay, let's start. Müller, Kleinschmidt, Katrin Korn, Ziegler. There. Okay, so here we found him, and it clearly states Anna Marta and Justus Fröhlich, and that already, and then it says Eubach. Ehefrau geborene Braun, so she was, her maiden name was Braun, gestorben am 20. August, morgens, 6 Uhr und 55, like 6:55 in the morning. She died on the 20th of August. And they wrote it on the 22nd of August. Oh. Nah. So Anna Marta is not Anna Margrethe, and that's where you see already that shit's going in wrong. So if we're gonna go back in here now and there's an Anna Marta in there, no thank you. That might have been her sister or something like that. This one is ours. This one is not. um, anything else that is new that would give you Kurt, Katharine, blah blah blah. You want this? Nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. Don't need it. Nothing that we don't know. Okay, thank you. So we got Anna. So many Annas everywhere. So it didn't get really far. Let's see about her hubby there. I find it interesting that okay, same thing. We're telling them right away, that's wrong, people. You got that wrong. So that kicks me back to nothing here. But I'm gonna go back up to, okay, there's nothing there. Okay. To the original, like the top thing, right? This is where we're following the male patriarch lineage of my family, and this lineage is of particular interest to me in a weird way, because it's the lineage of I don't know if I have to give you a trigger warning right now or not. I'm not sure. I know I mentioned that I'm dealing with things on my channel, and that is clear to you if you find this. And by doing the things I'm doing here, I'm kind of like working through shit. So this is like my own little private therapy session here. And this particular lineage is my perpetrator's lineage. And I find that interesting because a lot of times, and that's not an excuse, but maybe a background reason to understand why things happening is like a lot of perpetrators have had the same experiences. That doesn't mean that everybody that had bad experiences in their childhood turns out to be a perpetrator or continues to stay in that cycle. But a lot of people that are perpetrators in any kind of abusive situation lots of times have a history in their own family, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And my belief is, from what I've been able to gather so far, that might be the case in my family. That is why I find this interesting, because you always wonder, like, where does that start? I mean, the hopes is that it sometimes you find like a spot where it ends, at least in some part of the lineage. But it had to have started somewhere. And understanding like the backgrounds, the cultural backgrounds, or the areas, the time frames, the historical backgrounds, the beliefs, the society that was happening at the time, and what people believed. And then we're back at the patriarchy big time. That kind of fueled the whole thing, obviously. I find that an interesting thing to do. But so far, all I've been doing is gathering names. I haven't really gotten into stories that much, except for that area with the military mailbox. That, don't let me forget, I promised I would dig out. Each time I would dig out one piece. So we are in 1631. Michel is the son of Hans, and apparently he lived in Middle Franconia and Altenmoor, and it's just let's just start digging into a little bit of stories here. Where is Altenmoor? Let's zoom out here. Okay. Well, that makes sense. You know, it's in this area. This is Nuremberg. These are all areas that are important to me for one reason or another. And so it gives you an idea. So this is near Ansbach. Nuremberg, like I said, is over here. This is all Franconia. This is middle Franconia. Then you have upper and lower Franconia up on top. Don't ask me why the fuck lower Franconia is on the top of middle Franconia. I don't fucking know. I didn't make the rules. So this is where Michel lived, or where Michel was born. Now let's see if there is a possibility, and we have a possible mom. So let's just go in here, and probably the possible mom, and there she is, shows up here. So, I find it a little bit confusing that he ends up in Switzerland for some reason. But we're back at that point of ban, and I think I mentioned that the first time I've done this. But this is where we get a little bit confused. Yeah, and that was my worry. Here we go. You see in this part here that there is contradicting information. And honestly, at this point, I believe this information a lot more about Switzerland than this one about Switzerland. And this is not the same person. And there were so many Michels, and there were so many Ops, and then also I don't believe the information about his wife at this point, unless I see some evidence, some paper evidence where they're both mentioned in that sense, with him being born in Altenmoor. I'm not gonna take that, and I'm gonna just turn that down. And does this skip me here? No, it doesn't. And I'm gonna just tell them no. I mean, it's possible right now, but because there's so many contradicting information, I don't think that's correct at this point. And why did this do that? Funny how it kicks me up to Hans now again, and probably with the same information that I just turned down here for some... Oh no! There we go. There's another information that we might be able to use. What is this? Geboren zu Altenmoor am 9.2.1619 in Altenmoor. Burg. B-E-R-G-S-I. No, that might not be an S, because this is an S. I don't know what this means right now, but I can read all the rest, and that's all we need. So, fine. Yeah, we'll take that, because that is the date, right? Oh wait, that gives us an exact date. And why does it say Agnes? What? Hold on, let's go back. February 9th, 1619, in Altenmoor. He was born. Let's fix that date. Let's fix the motherfuck. How the fuck? No, I must. February 9th, 1619. Save. Okay. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, and here we go. It can't be right. Do you see the age of him when his son was born? I mean, biologically, I guess it's possible at some point. But the thing is, though, do we know for sure? Hey, Michel, come here. Why do I know this for sure? Because I know this for sure. And that's correct. So that's not correct. Son of a bitch. The dad's name might have been Hans, but that paper is probably his brother, not his dad. And usually kids were named after their parents and their grandparents and uncles and whatnot. Okay, yeah, obviously you're telling me again. I need to get that picture back out because that's wrong. I need to delete that from the gallery. Bye. And then I need to go back and check this for shits and giggles, but I think okay, this is the Christina that of the Swiss guy that we really don't give a shit. But this Agnes is a little, I don't know. This is way too vague. This is way too vague. Let's kick them right now. Nah. It's too vague. Too vague. So, okay, so Michel and Margareta had a son. His name was Hans. He was born 1661, and we know that for sure. Died 1726. What do you have to say about him? Again, I don't think anything's coming out of that one. Yeah. No. And Groningen is not in Germany, by the way. That is in the Netherlands. Hate to burst your bubble. Nope. Bye. That was easy. So let's just ignore Katharina here for a second and just go down to their son. Johann Peter. And we have had a lot of Peters in the family on that side. So, born 1701 and died 1768. And they kind of like tucked themselves into Ellhofen, Weinsberg am Neckar. And let's just find that real quick. That's not what I wanted to do. There's a McDonald's. That's important. That McDonald's did not exist back then. My apologies. Go away. Oh yeah, near Heilbronn, and we should be near maybe Stuttgart, Ludwigsburg, and this is pretty much where the area is. So there was some movement. Here is Nuremberg again. This is Ansbach-Gulsenhausen. This is where the other area is, where a little bit further back again, where some settled, but around between 1600 and pretty much up to the 18th century, 19th century, the male descendants of my dad lived in this area. And my dad's father actually came from Ludwigsburg, which, by the way, right now has light rain showers and 18 centigrade of temperature. Good to know. So, yeah, to give you an idea again, we're going back out. Germany, Stuttgart, Nuremberg, Frankfurt. There's France, Switzerland, Netherlands, Poland, Czech, Austria. So, that's where Johann Peter lived. And we're just going to check out this one because for shits and giggles, we're just going to check it. There is not much new crap or the fuck? Or why does it do that again? I gotta fix that. Yeah, no, there's nothing that I really want to pick up from there. So thank you, bye. Just doing this fucking thing. Okay, so Johann Peter had a son, Johann Conrad. He was born. He was born 1751, died 1838, and lived also around Ellhofen, Baden-Württemberg, which is the area that we just showed and looked. And he had a son named Johann Conrad. They were not very original. I mentioned that before. And he was born in 1780 and died in 1859. And we're going to click him and check. And he was born, so they bounced back and forth between that area and Schopfloch Ansbach is actually right over. Here's Ansbach. There's Ludwigsburg, Heilbronn. Ellhofen is over there. What the fuck? I got too much crap. I need to redo my computer. Don't have nerves for this shit right now. I also gotta finish something. Where the hell is Schopfloch? Schopfloch was somewhere around there. Anywho, in this area. So let's check. Yeah, that is obviously, and that is Anna Maria, Eva, Katharina, Anna, Katharina, Eva, Katharina. Fröhlich. That's the same one. Maria Elisabetta. 86 Christian Johann. 1780. Yeah, he was married twice. But there's nothing new here. Nothing new. Bye. Go away. One more back. Which brings me to Christian Johann, and that's probably, I know what this is also, a Dinkelsbühl, yeah. This should be the same to, yep, Katharina Barbara Henlein, Christian. Where's this kid from? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to risk it. By... So this is back in the area of Ansbach. And then when you go over here, that's my great-grandfather, and that's my grandfather. I'm thinking of just leaving it at that right now, because seriously, I'm doing my head in right now, and doing this not completely sober is a little bit complicated for me right now. But I said I was gonna go back into the box, so let's go and dig that up. And yes, this is a chaos and it's a mess because I've been emptying a room. Why is this not called? So I got the box back, and we're gonna shift over. And I'm gonna... So, I think the last one I just put underneath, right? So we are now today having... Oh, it doesn't say anything, so I'll show you a couple. I don't know if you can see this. Fucking light. Hold on. Can I not? This is tricky. Why can't I not just hold on? I need to just... What can I do here? I can't. Is this better? I doubt it. It is some... Here, so this is the sunset. Solnedgang ved havet. Somewhere. Can't help you there. Can't help you much. Then we have... Okay, and there's writing on the back here. So I can actually... I can show you that right now. Oops. I'm not worried too much about the address. This building doesn't exist no more. So, you might want to notice, is this focusing? Come on. Fucking autofocus is not playing with me right now. The stamps and the stamp on the stamp. The anyways, it says Munich, the 24th of October, and this is the Karlstor in Munich. I've actually been there. Why can I not? There we go. And the dad of my grandma's name was Emil. So, let's see how much I can read with not being completely sober. And it's I don't know if you can see this, but it's written really crappy. Dear Emil and family. Oh my god. I'm already at a loss. Oh my god. Why do you write so crappy? We were today in... Can't read it. They celebrated a birthday. And I guess they moved, and somebody asked if they liked where they moved to. They're planning to come home by the 1st of November. It was the 24th of October. I mean, come on. How? How the fuck am I supposed to say anything here? I can't even make out who... Greetings from all of us. I wonder if my great-grandfather could actually read this. If you listen, wherever you're at, can you tell me if you actually... I cannot read who wrote that. And I also can't make out the year, but since it has a Hakenkreuz on there, I would assume anywhere between 1933 and 1945. And I mean, I guess back then, I mean, it had to have been, no, it had to have been before. That wasn't during the war. Would they go somewhere during the war? No. And this looks like a very peaceful setting. There's like babies and carriages, people riding their bikes through the gate. I need some reading glasses. I would be able to help you more with that. Actually, it'd be interesting to scan that in. Let me do that real quick. And look at this in a bigger picture. Let's just scan that in real quick. Bop, bop, bop. Can we do this real quick? Sure. I'm gonna do that. I scanned it in upside down. Okay. We can flip it around. And then maybe we can look at it in detail. Ah! I'm gonna share this with you. Okay. We're gonna just save this on the desktop. I'll take this and I'm gonna flip it around. And I'm gonna share this with you real quick. Hold on a second. Oh no, I have to. Okay. Select option. Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. It's not showing. I don't know if I... Hold on. Is this showing? Is this doing anything? Yeah, all you see is black, don't you? Yeah, that's not what I it said photos. Okay, no. 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 Why? Why? Doesn't make a difference. Okay, hold on. How can I share this with you? Why is this not working? Okay, it's the same thing. Open with. Can I open it with I'm trying something right now. What? That's just rude and I just... This is stupid, but this might be a workaround. Let's go back into the lights. I'm gonna figure this out. Watch me figure this out. Yep. Ugh. Why is there so many Windows Media players right now? Why is this all this crap is open? Multi-adapter compatibility. You know, one would think okay, that doesn't work either. I just want to show you. Why the fuck? Sit as. can look at it with the Internet Explorer. I mean, I'm gonna hate doing that, but that just makes me shudder. From now on, we'll stop suddenly changing these settings. But no, I don't want you. No, don't enable whatever Microsoft said. My current settings, please don't go away. Ask me later. Don't enable. Close this. Oh God, I hate this so much. Can I flip it around? Can I do any? Oh my God, why? Actually, I have to. My God. Edit. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Save it right side up. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Where did that just go? Oh my God, this is just ridiculous. I'm a little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm a big girl. Now. You're gonna cry. Hello. What is that? Oh wait. What? Properties for Windows. What is it showing? I don't think this is happening today, guys. Okay, close this stupid thing again. Does this flip it around? Yeah. Yeah, no. Help! All I want to do is show you this. Open with. If I open it in the paint, I mean, this is making. Oh God, I don't want to paint on it. Go back. Does that work? Jesus fucking Christ. I am sorry, I'm fucking this up hardcore right now. Let's give this one more. Oh my God. Where is this even at? Let's cancel. There it is. Well, it's not quite how I was hoping this would be, but it's better than nothing, and I can at least show you some of it. So we're gonna just do this. This is not perfect by any means. This is not perfect, and I'm gonna move my. And I'm gonna fucking it all up right now. No. Son of a bitch. Come here, you. No! Ah! Oh, God. I'm so sorry. This is horrible right now. This is about as tedious as it can get. Let me move out of the way. So, okay. Now, let's see what we can figure out. There's not that much that we can see, but I'm gonna try to zoom in. So we're seeing some people, I was hoping we could read some of that, but it's so grainy. It is so grainy, bummer. Let's zoom out again for a second. What can we read over there? I think, damn it. Well, so it had to have been before 33, but after 29, because Hitler took over. Actually, let me. Don't want to fuck that up right now. Where was I mean, from the, where is that thing? Let me see if I can. We're gonna figure this out now. This is like the last thing we're gonna do today, and I want to figure it out. And I'm gonna do macro here. We're gonna do a super macro. And no, stop taking pic. Oh my god. No, go away. I don't want you to do that either. Okay, so what I figured out here, after I took like several pictures from my stamp on stamp. Is that correct? Am I doing this correct? If you have, I don't know. Anyways, 24th October 1938 is when this was sent from Munich. And it says main city of the movement. So there you have it. So I would assume that the pictures themselves, or the picture itself, is of that area. My mom actually was in a still in a baby stroller like that. I find it a little bit depressing if you look at this picture and you think about those people that are on this picture weren't really aware of what they were getting themselves into at that point. Or some of them were. We were some shitty people. I mean, seriously, that's just horrid, the thought of what happened after. Well, that was this, what you're looking at. And I'll find a, oh, is there a full screen thing? Oh, look at that. No, won't do it. That's just what I'm seeing, but not what you're seeing. Okay, fine. Anyhow, and it says, Augen auf im Straßenverkehr, watch out when crossing the road or driving. So, with that, we're gonna close this little box. And if you bear with me until now, I'm sorry. This was not a very energetic stream, and I apologize for it, but I've had some shitty weeks, and I don't know, beer makes me sleepy, and I still gotta do some work on some paperwork, and I don't feel like it, so we're gonna have to. Basically, I was procrastinating with you. So I appreciate if you procrastinated with me, and I thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, night, day, morning, whatever you're gonna have. And I guess, yeah, I don't know what is it doing here. What is it doing? I don't know what it's doing. You tell me what it's doing. I have no clue. And I never catch the follows, so I don't know why this is still not working, because I have alerts and it didn't, or it did go off and I didn't catch it. Well, I thank you for bearing with me. Have a great evening. Have a great rest moment of a weekend if you still have so. And I'll probably see you on Tuesday for probably the other version of Bloodlines, because honestly, I'm tired of being stuck in a tutorial. So with that sense, bye.